Hello everybody, welcome and thanks for stopping by. I've had the Xbox Series X for a little over a week now. I've been having a lot of fun gaming. I've been doing a fair amount of streaming and a lot of learning. I've been learning things about streaming. I've also been learning that my audiovisual system may be a little bit outdated by today's standards. But more to come. We'll take a look at that in turn. Some of the first things I've noticed about the Xbox Series X is blistering load times. That's not unexpected given the SSD drive, but I wasn't expecting it to be quite as fast as it is. And that's really nice when you're playing a game that's got some heavy load times, say Assassin's Creed Valhalla, some of these open world games that are massive. On the Xbox One X, loads were quite fast considering. But I tell you, the Xbox Series X, dare I say, is it 5 times faster? Is it 10 times faster? I haven't taken a look at the hard numbers, but I'll tell you the feel is that it is blisteringly fast in the load time. So really nice when you're, say, transporting between worlds or between areas in a world. You're not spending a lot of time waiting. I remember waiting upwards of, say, a minute, or at least it felt like a minute or so. Now, as I say a minute, I begin to think that we've sure become an impatient society. But when it comes to high tech, a minute load time is no longer acceptable. I'm looking forward, something just occurs to me now. I've got, what is it called? Red Dead Redemption, excuse me. A little bit of a tongue twister there. Anyways, what is it, part 2? I'm really looking forward to taking a look at that on the Xbox Series X because it certainly was a little bit, what shall I say, not frustrating, but trying sometimes the loads between worlds or areas within the world. Okay, well, I digress, getting a little off topic. So, blistering load times. The definition and detail in the graphics is extremely realistic and just fantastic, as expected, given the more powerful processor, given the fact that they've made advances in how they are rendering objects. So definition and detail in the graphics is extremely realistic and just a lot of fun. I mean, if we take a look at the screen here, just the preview screen on Forza Horizon 5, we've got detail in the leaves of the palms, we've got colors. Lighting, of course, is amazing, particularly in scenes like when we see the sun coming through the trees, or the way that the lighting is playing off of surfaces, playing off of, say, let's see, playing off the surface of this car. The paint looks almost glassy and wet. So really amazing. Look at that, the way the sun is filtering through the trees. We're getting some diffusion and backlighting. Fantastic. Words cannot describe that. So there it is on the screen. You can see that for yourself. Okay, the gameplay itself, of course, is responsive. It feels really snappy. I noticed a difference, and on my first video I did make a comment about that. On the Xbox One X, let's say we were playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I noticed in the battle sequences there was a little bit of delay, shall I say. Slightly, I don't want to say laggy because that makes it sound like it was unlivable or unplayable. It certainly was not that. But when you upgrade to the Xbox Series X, it seemed like the battle sequences were more fluid, they felt more immersive and more realistic, I guess, in that when I made a move, the character moved and things were just happening split seconds faster. So probably on to the order, of course, of milliseconds now, but I do believe that there is some type of a, if not a, what's the word I'm looking for? If not perceptible difference, certainly one that you feel as you're immersed in the game. Okay, moving on. Closing then on the points that I've got here, The controller is simply the best in the industry. I had the PlayStation 5 for about 3 weeks or a month. I couldn't get comfortable behind the PlayStation 5 controller. I did give it time, played the PlayStation exclusively. I've got relatively large hands, my fingers are fairly long, and I have heard people talking about the PlayStation 5 controller saying, well, unless you have large hands, maybe you'll find it cumbersome and unwieldy. I do have large hands, and I found that it was just not comfortable in my hands. Just checking on the watch there. I'm using my watch as a remote. This is a fantastic pairing. I realize the sound quality on these recordings could certainly be improved. We've got a lot of reflectivity in this room, and I'm simply speaking directly to the camera. Again, this channel is a work in progress. You're watching it being built. This is the second brick in the foundation of the channel, so thank you for your patience. If you do like what you're seeing so far, please hit the like button. I would sure appreciate some subscribers to help build the channel up, and perhaps just let me know how you like things and how I might improve things moving forward. Yeah, okay, so controllers are best in the industry. The layout of the analog sticks, or I'm not sure what you would call them, not analog anymore, but the stick layout is perfect. A lot of the time when you're moving around a world, you'll be playing with the left stick and then using the appropriate buttons to game with. Other times when you want to look around, you've got the right stick here. The layout of the Sony has the sticks parallel and the buttons offset, but the majority of the time you are playing with one stick and buttons, so I think that Microsoft has gotten that correct. Other things that I like about this controller that they've updated is the texturization on the controller is deeper. It's certainly more aggressive on the hand contact surfaces, and also they have texturized now these trigger buttons, so I've really appreciated that. I think that's all I want to say about the controller. Okay, moving on to some things that I thought were perhaps, well, either I was surprised that they were either missing or wasn't entirely impressed with. Let's move into that. First of all, no optical out on the Xbox Series X. Now, I can run HDMI to the television that I have here and then run an optical out, but this being a, what shall I say, a relatively budget model television or entry-level television, it doesn't have a decoder to run 5x1 out of the Toslink there. So it's actually a step backwards for me in terms of my home theater experience and immersion experience, in that I cannot run an optical directly from the Xbox Series X to my stereo system, which is a Sony, by the way. Yes, it's old, but it is quality, and it still sounds great. So it would be nice if I could continue using this 5x1 surround system. Like I was saying, the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, they have Toslink or optical out. I could run that directly to the receiver and have beautiful 5x1 surround sound. With the Xbox Series X, there is no optical out, and so I've lost that. I get stereo image either through the television. I can get stereo sound, which is okay. If I've tried running it out here through the optical from the TV to the receiver, and it is giving me, shall I say, a mediocre or even below mediocre sound quality. So that's something that I'm going to need to address. Again, probably a result of the fact that the receiver is so old. There is no HDMI ins on this receiver, so but it does what it's supposed to. It gives beautiful sound. It's a Sony system. So it looks like I'm going to be purchasing a $30 or $50, what do they call it, a decoder or an audio splitter. So you run it through HDMI in, and it splits the HDMI visual signal out to the television, and then gives you options for your audio. About another device in the signal path, I don't think that's what we want to be doing. So enough on that. Okay, and we already spoke about that. Bluetooth is absent. That would make things a lot easier in terms of Bluetooth headsets, being able to link directly to the Xbox Series X for gaming, chatting, and for streaming. Nice to have the wireless headsets. I'm not a big fan of wireless in general. When I have an option to go wired, I typically do go wired. So I've got my Logitech gaming headset here. It is a fantastic set of headphones. The microphone does give reasonable quality for the chat and for the streams. Again, if you don't like having a cable or a leash, that can be a little bit problematic. So that plugs directly into the controller, and certainly you do have excellent sound in the headphones. You get that simulated surround type sound, but at any rate, no Bluetooth for things like Bluetooth headsets. Back to the controller. One slight deficiency in the controller is, and we already covered this in the first video, batteries. Okay, AA batteries, I like the fact that it accepts AA batteries, but I think Microsoft really, you could have included a battery pack that simulates this AA pack, like the ones they sell in the aftermarket. Rechargeable battery pack comes with the Xbox Series X. You know, you could greenwash it a little bit, Microsoft, and you could say, we care about the environment, and include rechargeable batteries and put that on the box as a feature. Rechargeable batteries included, right? There you go, little picture of a leaf or something. So there you are. Okay, one more thing on the controller. Yeah, the cable types. You haven't included a cable. I'm not speaking directly to Microsoft now, so I don't know why I'm saying you. There is no cable included in the box for the controller, which isn't too surprising. We've got cables coming out our ears these days. However, I don't run a lot of, what do you call this? Is this Type-C that comes with Android and whatnot? I'm not sure what you call it. I think you call that a Type-C USB. I don't have a lot of those. I think I have 2 of them and they're about that long. So no rechargeable battery and then no included cable of that type. So you've changed types from, I think, what was the previous one? Micro USB to Type-C. I'm not sure I'm using those terms correctly, but you get what I'm saying. How about a cable? I understand, don't include the cable because, again, maybe that's an environmental consideration and a pricing point consideration, but there you go. Okay. One thing I do consider to be a downgrade, maybe this is going to, once again, be a reflection of how long I've been gaming, the Kinect. We really enjoy playing things like Just Dance, using the Kinect even just as a webcam. I'm not sure why the functionality of Kinect was not supported in the Xbox Series X. It works with the Xbox One X and One S if you just buy that little converter. But the Kinect was, as I understand it, was just simply so far ahead of its day, and it got overlooked, and there's a lot of functionality in that device still, which I think it should be supported. Just Dance 2022 does support the Kinect, but only if you're playing on an Xbox One X or One S, so that doesn't make a lot of sense as far as motivation to want to upgrade. So yeah, if we want to enjoy Just Dance, nobody wants to dance. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, that's a pretty powerful word, but we don't enjoy dancing around with a device in our hand. It doesn't feel natural, it's awkward. Also, it's not registering the true moves of the body as you're dancing along. And the Kinect does that. I am a new when it comes to things like capture. I was looking into like the V-tubing and those caricatures, the rigging and so on and so forth. I'm not really interested in pursuing that myself, but things like motion capture, I think the Kinect could have been utilized. My last gripe, if I have to choose one, this beautiful game here, I was looking forward to this so much, playing these, driving these cars, playing in this new environment, going to Mexico, you know, Viva Mexico, es un país tan bonito, tan maravilloso. I don't know if that was reasonable Spanish or not, it's been a long time, but beautiful country, beautiful cars. I wanted to drive around. I wanted to share that with the viewers on Twitch. I've been streaming on Twitch at Leif Green. That's LEIF_green. Come and check me out, support me there. I'd sure appreciate you building the community and supporting the channel. But I can't stream Forza Horizon 5 from the Xbox Series X. It seems to be the domain of those PC gamers or people with high-end capture cards. Not where I am, not where I plan on being. My philosophy is, do what you can where you are with what you have. I've got the Xbox Series X. That's going to be my main streaming platform. Tried streaming some Magic the Gathering the other night on my Mac, and it was a nightmare. So as far as my systems go, the Xbox Series X is the most powerful computer or gaming system I have in the house. It would be nice if I had full functionality. Okay, well, to end on some good notes then, I highly recommend, if you've got the resources, get yourself an Xbox Series X. With this All Access Pass now, it's a fantastic deal. 24 months, 0%. Ends up being, it's exactly the same price as if you were going to buy the Xbox and have Game Pass All Access for 2 years. And it's 0% financing. So that seems to be the only way to get your hands on an Xbox Series X these days. Go ahead, sign up for it. From what I can tell is you can sign up and just go ahead and pay it out if you want to. So there you go. Great load times, graphics, details, amazing. Lighting is fantastic. The gameplay is responsive. So highly recommended, really enjoying it. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit that like button. I would sure appreciate a subscribe. Come check me out over on Twitch at Leif_green. And that's all for now. Catch you next time.